Hi all, I've been in the scrapbox again and excuse me, I thought this week I would make, I found some dowling and some bits and pieces, and I just fancied a coal tower to load the trucks with. So I've sorted through a few bits and pieces, and I won't actually show you being made because it's sometimes can get a bit boring, but I'll show you the end result. So here we are, and this is the old bits of dowling. These are kebab sticks, real bit of coal in there, and this side is off a set of blinds, timber blinds. Obviously, these I bought. This is interesting though. The little motor piece that's running this cog here, that's off an old jack plug with the bottom cut off. And the chain, I was amazed myself, the chain is just a piece of gauze, very, very fine gauze that I cut thinly with the Stanley knife. And it gives quite a good effect, I think. Anyway, that's the tower. And what I'm going on to next is a crane. I have to sort out the box for some bits. So here we are at the bench. What I propose to do is make this crane for lifting the coal out, because I've made the barge, or the coal barge. Now, what I've got some old pieces of track here that somebody gave me a whole bag of those, but I don't think it's the nickel silver, it's the stuff that rusts, so I can use that. But I've cleaned it up, and what I'll do, I'll solder some bits and pieces in between here to make the jib. Now these I shall use these are screw washers, cup washers. If I solder those together, as you can see, I don't know if you can see there, it makes a wheel. So I'll make a couple of those for the cables. Cables that come via my wife and a knitting box, the cotton. This will be the base for it to sit on, followed by, I'll cut a piece of tube, copper tube, and the dowling that's going to support the top of the crane will go down in the end of there. The crane box will, the cab will be an old thimble box that used to belong to my wife. Now the motor's on top, as I've said before. See here, these jack plugs, they just come in a strip. You can just pull them out of there. And I cut this off, and you've got it looks like a motor top. So once that end's cut off, you can cut the bottoms off and glue it down. And between those, I should put, out of my box, I've got several different cogs. And a lot of these cogs come out of, you know, the old clocks, battery clocks, where you've got a little box on the back with all the gubbins in. Well, once they pack up, rip them apart, and look, you've got all these little cogs and all the bits and pieces, and they'll all come in handy. So I'll put them between the jack plugs. Now for the bucket, he says, dropping everything, the bucket that goes on the end, I've got a piece of black tube here. What I'll do with that, I'll cut the end off that, cut it at an angle, and glue it together with the super glue. You can't beat the super glue. I use it all the time. That's fantastic for sticking lead to timber, I tell you. So a lot of the handrails I use solder, in fact, and you can bend that to any shape, straighten it out and bend it to any shape, cut it, and you can make handrails out of that, which is easy. And what would be the last thing to think about? Well, I can't think of if there's anything else. Oh yes, the handrails around the base, I often use staples. And if you turn those upside down, which is pretty obvious, and you take them apart, and you've got, put them side by side, super glue them side by side, they make great handrails, well, you'll see in the finished result. So I think I'll make a start, but like before, I won't show you how it's all made, because it's all time consuming, and I have to hold this with one hand. I haven't got a tripod. So when it's finished, I'll put it on and show you, and hopefully it's a good result. Take care now. See you later. Right, so here we are. The barge is finished, full of coal, and the crane is all ready to lift the coal out. There's the bucket made from the old black pipe, and the clip above is off a pair of old bib overalls, you know, the top that clips the straps over your shoulders. There's the cotton from my wife, and up the top here, there are the brass screw washers, cup washers, attached to the track that I soldered together down onto the thimble box, and the copper tube in the middle at the bottom with the dowling, and there you can see the staples. I use them as a handrail, which they don't look too bad. You can always paint them black. And on the top, as I said before, you can see, where is it? There it is. That's the motor with the cogs. And I had some windows left over from an old signal box, and some card, looks like corrugated card. And on the back there you can see the solder that I use for handrails, and at the side. And it actually does move, which I think is pretty good. But I leave it into that position because it's picking up the coal from the barge. Anyway, hope you like that, and as I've always said before, don't throw anything away. All those bits and pieces all come handy, and it's made the whole scene. There we are, until next time. Take care all. See you soon.